Hello, loves. Hello, hello. Hills here from the Blue Flame. How are we all doing? Whoo, that Gemini supermoon, that final full moon of 2025 was really something, wasn't it? Oh, the light it cast, the light it shone was quite magnificent. It felt like a mini second sun in a lot of ways. And the energy as we're coming into the crone moon phase or the shedding moon phase this week of December 8th is really quite fiery, honestly. But not just fiery, emotional in so many ways. As we're coming closer and closer to that Sagittarius new moon on the 19th and this massive energetic surge into the new that is inviting us into. This period that we're in right now, where the moon is shedding its skin, is also a period for us of skin shedding. And so you may be noticing, since that Gemini full moon, that super moon, shone that bright light on your destiny's path, that lots of churning is occurring within your being. I'm going to speak for myself personally and just say in the last 48 hours or so since that full moon, every single emotion has moved through me, and sometimes many of them simultaneously. Part of this is that we are clearing the decks. Anything that hasn't been processed yet, any kernel or gristle of fat that hasn't been alchemized in this year of transformation, in this 9 year, in this snake year, as we prepare to journey into the new, is coming up for final review. During this week, we have, of course, we have that crone moon, that movement into the dark moon phase as we approach the new moon. The peak of this energy is going to be on the 10th or 11th of December, depending on your time zone. At the same sort of instance, Neptune is turning around in Pisces and stationing direct once again. This means that everything that's going to be moving direct as we come to the new year will be moving direct. Everything that's going to be moving retrograde as we move into the new year will be moving retrograde. Chiron's a little funky because it's going to turn around on like the 2nd or 3rd of January. So we're getting to play with some of that energy even as it's beginning to hit that point of its stationing. But what we're here to talk about today is Neptune, in particular, the energy of moving through karmic completion. Neptune is turning around at 29 degrees of Pisces, which is known as the astrological karmic completion point. It's that moment right before we tip over. And as we come up to that, and as we come up to that moment when the moon squares the sun, moon in Virgo squares the sun in Sagittarius, we are really taking stock of everything in our emotional being. Remember, Pisces is very emotional, very tender energy. And so we are taking stock, and the invitation is to take space for yourself, to make space for yourself, to allow every part of you that needs to speak or rage or cry out space to do so, safe space to do so. Now, as this is all occurring, we find Venus having come deeper into Sagittarius at 13 degrees, conjunct now the rose dragons who are at 14 degrees and the great attractor at 15 degrees of Sagittarius. These three working together to help us lovingly hold space for that which needs to be shed, that which needs to be released, that which we are being asked to let go of. I'm going to share a little insight from my personal journeying, which is when I'm going to sleep at night, and sometimes in various meditative states, or even if I'm just sitting on the couch watching TV, but very much so when I'm laying down in my meditation and prayer before I go to sleep, before I enter the dream time and begin those journeys. I will have vocalizations emerge as I'm sighing words. Sometimes it's light language, sometimes it's another language, sometimes it's English. Come out. As I sigh, it's as if something deep within me finally gets a chance to voice something that was not previously able to find an avenue for release. And the one that came through, and it came through twice last night as I was laying down, moving energy, preparing my being for sleep, was, I'm scared. And the invitation for me at that moment was not to judge or shrink that voice, but rather to open and expand and get real curious. Now, Neptune is really curious energy, right? Neptune invites us to explore all of the possible potentials out there. And so the invitation that I had in that moment was to ask, what part of Hillary is saying that? And is this all mine, or am I picking up some of the collective? And this has been my big journey the last couple of days since we moved through that super moon, because I have had, like I said, every single possible emotional experience move through me: grumpiness, anger, grief, rage, fear, and so many more. We could stand here all day listing every single emotion. But all of these, yes, profound joy and love as well. And me having to go, okay, I know I'm not angry at the little container, the little storage container that fell over right now. So what is this really? And this is the invitation for us all as we move through this energetic, to feel what needs to be felt, to let it move through us, not to attach to it, which is to say, not to say, I am angry, but rather to say, anger is being experienced through me right now. Is this my anger? Can you share with me, anger, what it is that you're upset about? Is there something that I need to see in this? There's the story of Inanna and Ereshkigal, and part of the story of Ereshkigal is being in pain, but nobody witnessing it. And the thing that transforms her being is the moment when somebody acknowledges the pain that she's experiencing. And so this is what we're talking about here. Can you feel that anger, that grief, that love, that sorrow, that bubbling over of exuberance, that melancholy? Can you feel all of these things as they move through? Can you connect into the voices and say, I see you? Ouch, your stomach. And notice, I didn't say, ouch, my stomach. Ouch, my heart. But ouch, your heart. If it is yours, if it is yours, if the thing that's raging up in you is not simply the goddess in her tear it all apart form, but it is actually something for you personally to process, then how can you witness it for yourself? How can you say, I had this experience and wow, it really fucking pissed me off. And hold space for that anger without internalizing, without becoming that anger. To know that as everything is, it is a transitory moment. It is a transitory moment. It's a blip in the grand scheme of things. It is not, I am angry right now. I have always been angry and I will always be angry. It is, oh, wow, that really hit me. What is it that it's connecting to? And how can I witness that at the root? Now, a lot of what we've been talking about is this processing of the emotional realms, the emotional body. And that's because this is very loud right now. Neptune, when it stations direct on the 10th at 29 of Pisces, will be doing so in an exact trine to Mercury, now moving forward, and Black Moon Lilith at 29 of Scorpio, both getting ready to make their entryway into Sagittarius again. So feel that Black Moon Lilith energy in this of, I need to experience all of the places where subjugation has occurred so that I can allow them to be transmuted, so that I can feel what does not serve the grand scheme, the highest good of all sentience. Most of this energy is going to be occurring in that place where the emotional and the mental body intersect. There's this energetic that occurs a lot of times when we get sick, when we're in pain, that I keyed into a while back, and I'm going to share it with us right now because maybe it will help you get in to this energy. When we're really sick, when we have the flu, when we have a really bad headache, when we have a really bad hangover, if that's something that you've ever experienced, And it can also be a big energy hangover, kind of like what we're experiencing coming out of that Gemini supermoon. When we have the flu, all of these different sorts of states of dis-ease. One of the things that can happen is that we can start to experience, and our mental body can start to share with us all of the stories about this thing that we did wrong or that thing that was wrong done to us, and so on and so forth. There's this writer, Robert Anton Wilson, and one of his psychoanalytical experiences, the things that he writes about a lot, is that the monkey mind has a scatological sort of energy, being obsessed with feces. And that the monkey mind believes, has bought into a belief that every human being around us, including us, is a no good shit. And so when our experience of the world is painful, so like when we're sick, or when we have an energy hangover, we're in the big come down of a movement, when we have the flu, that part of us rises up and is like, see, look at how bad you feel right now. You know why? And it will tell us all the stories of all of the things that we've ever experienced that mean that we're no good shits. And it will tell us all of the things that we've ever experienced that tell us that everyone else is a no good shit. And part of our job is to stay in observer mode through that. To say, that was an experience. Yeah. It's not the reason that I have a cold right now, but it's coming up through the vehicle of this cold or this flu or this energy hangover so that I can acknowledge it. Thank you. Thank you. So when we talk about the rose dragons who are conjunct Venus and the great attractor during Neptune's stationing and the Crone Moon, when we feel into that Kuan Yin, compassionate, detached service, sort of empowered energy that is the dragon, part of what we get to play with is, can we hold space for all of those parts of ourselves, including that monkey mind that has decided so long ago that we're no good shits? And can we love that part of ourselves? We love that part of ourselves that believes that we are something shameful, something less than. Because trying to kick that part of ourselves out the door, or saying, I don't need you, I don't want you, go away, well, that just makes it stronger. Only through loving those parts of ourselves can we truly release ourselves from their thrall. So as Mercury and Black Moon Lilith trine Neptune as Neptune stations direct, we find Medusa conjunct Vesta in Capricorn at 14 and 13. Medusa helps us to come into our empowered voice, to let go of all of those false masks, those false stories. Vesta is that fire that burns within us all. It is that home fire. It is also the passion that burns within us all. It is the wholeness of us all. And as they are at 14 and 13 of Capricorn, they are trining the South Node. And Medusa and Vesta seem to be saying, hey, 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 look at everything you've been, everything you've done. It is what makes you whole. It is not less than or not meant to be integrated, but incorporated into all of you. Look at every mask you ever wore. Look at every time you played small. Feel how they move through your blood and your bones. Feel every time your mother or father or grandmother or grandfather, brother or sister, niece or nephew, partner, friend, asked you to be smaller than, or you asked them to. And incorporate through your heart space all that was within that. So that moving forward, it's not running the show in your unconscious, but rather integrated into your allness. And not a wound, but a gift once more. Venus, the rose dragons, the great attractor, are of course T-squaring the south node and the north node. This is a loving endeavor. If we have not made that clear yet, let's just put a fine point on it. It is all about love, bringing every part of you into your being with love, interacting with the all of everything with love, carrying that love into the next part of your journey. Medusa and Vesta will be right across the road, right across the wheel from Sirius and Cancer. From Sirius and Cancer. Sirius, that energy of the Christ light. That diamond blue light of integrating our diamond or Christ consciousness. Isa, the name of Yeshua in the Quran, which means rabbi, teacher, that teacher energy is at 13 of Libra. So a nice, glorious T-square with Sirius and Medusa and Vesta. And this is an invitation for the integration of the teacher within us all. And isn't that what Sagittarius energy is all about? Where the sun and Venus and the rose dragons and Mars, who's exactly conjunct the Galactic Center during this time, are all playing. And it's the guru energy, the rabbi energy. And it's not teacher, show me the way. It's teacher, show me the way. That remembering that our heart is the teacher. A blade of grass is the teacher. The dog or cat that shares our space with us is the teacher. Our wounds are the teacher. And we feel all of these. And we allow anything that needs to be shed to be shed. Like we brush the dead skin off our skin. like we brush the dead hair off our head, as we rub against things and scratch those itches, as we allow the feeling, the tactile sensation of everything we have ever experienced. And we come into our next turning, and we find ourselves prepared through all of this deep, dark journeying. The Crone Moon invites wisdom and gnosis. The Crone Moon invites us to get into the dark recesses, to introspection, to contemplation. And we move through this Crone Moon so that we can hit that void point of the Sagittarius new moon on the 19th, come into the December solstice on the 21st, clean, not carrying excess baggage, not running unconscious patterns that do not serve the all of us. So that when we move into 2026, into the year of the fire horse, into this next cycle that is birthing all around us, we are doing so released from those dogmas that we've been carrying around, like Atlas carrying the earth on his back. Before I end this update, it does feel important to share that Medusa and Neptune are both working really powerfully during this time period. And Medusa and Neptune have an interwoven story. It is said that the relationship between Neptune and Medusa is what infuriated Athena so much that she cursed Medusa. There's a lot to that story we're not going to go into right now. I do have other updates if it calls to you to explore deeper. But let me feel. The piece that wishes to be transmitted in this moment is that each and every one of us wears masks. And part of what we're doing as we come to this karmic completion point is not hiding them from ourselves anymore. We can see so clearly the masks that other people wear, but it can be very difficult to see our own. And this dark, wizened Crone Moon cycle is helping us to get in there more, to get underneath the layers and to lovingly remove them if that's what calls. How are you called to get in there? Maybe it's journaling, maybe it's deep meditation, maybe it's dancing and raging in your kitchen or living room to some big music. Maybe it's reading a book or having a deep conversation with a loved one. Maybe it's having a deep conversation with your heart, with your bones, with an ancestor on the other side of the veil. Feel for yourself what's true. And in a few days, I will have an update about that Sagittarius new moon, and we will start to play with the Wheel of Fortune and the Magi that are setting the stage for 2026 and that 10-year one. Until then, I hope this served, and please do share in the comments if there's something that you feel called to share there. And as always, in the always, so much and many loves to you from the dimensions of the all and beyond, beyond.